me, being in politics is a means to an end. It's how we work together in our democracy to make life better for our fellow men and women, and particularly for the next generation. I sit next to Mark Pryor on the Armed Services Committee, and he and I are always trying to figure out how we're going to protect our troops, how we're going to take care of our veterans. You know, we don't sit and say, well, you know, should we treat Democratic veterans different than Republican veterans? No, we just say, what are we going to do for our veterans? And Blanche Lincoln fights every day to make sure that children get a little extra help, because there are still too many who don't have health insurance, don't have the opportunity for a good education, don't have the attention that they need, and don't get the chance to live up to their God-given potential. That's what I think we need to be doing again in America. And when I look at what's happening across our country, I don't see that. You know, when I was a little girl, I believed America had goals that we set together. I thought when President Kennedy said we were going to send a man to the moon and bring him back safely, that we would do it because that's what Americans did. We set goals and then we worked to achieve them. When President Johnson said we were going to knock down the barriers of race and segregation and have civil rights and voting rights, I knew it would be hard, but I knew we would do it. Well, what are America's goals today? What is it we're trying to achieve? I know what Governor Beebe's trying to achieve in Arkansas, and he's doing it under promising and over-delivering. He's providing free kindergarten. He's looking at how to improve higher education. What are America's goals? And we've got to have some again. We cannot continue to be a great country if we don't decide what we are aiming to achieve as a nation. So I think we should make up our minds we're going to have some goals. I want to be a president who sets goals for America again, and then I want to ask every one of us to work together to achieve those goals. You know, let's set a goal of quality, affordable health care for every single American, man, woman, and child. You know, during Bill's first term as governor, back in 1979, we worked to extend more health care to rural areas in Arkansas. And when we were in the White House, you all remember, we tried to extend health care to everybody. That didn't work out too well. I still have the scars to show for it, but I am proud we tried. It was the right thing to do, and it is going to be done because America needs us to do it together. And we didn't give up after we didn't make it. We kept going, and I want to work on the Children's Health Insurance Program, which insures 6 million children, and we're going to try to extend it to insure the remaining 9 million who are not insured. But this is not just about trying to achieve insurance for the more than 45 million that don't have it. This is about improving our system so it works better for everybody. Because we have millions of people who are underinsured. You know what that means. When you have something wrong with you, or you have a child who has something wrong, and the insurance company tells the doctor we're not going to pay for the treatment, well, what's the point of your having the insurance? You know, one of the things that all of us in Congress do, and what the governor and all the constitutional officers do, we try to help people. That's one of the great satisfaction about being in public life, is trying to cut through the red tape and the bureaucracy to help people. And a few years ago, I had a man call me from northern New York, and he said, Senator, I don't know what I did wrong. I worked with the same share of the premiums on the insurance that I got from my workplace, and I never really needed it. We were pretty healthy. My son has just been diagnosed with a rare disease, and the doctors say there's only one place in America where he should go and be treated. And the insurance company says no, they won't send him there. What was the point, he asked me, have that insurance if I can't use it to save my boy's life? So, we all got involved and we called the insurance company and we kind of argued with them, and then I think for the purpose to avoid bad publicity, they said, okay, we'll send the boy to the hospital to get the care. But I don't think you should have to call a United States Senator to be able to take care of your sick boy and get him the health care that your child deserves to have. Now I know that it's going to be politically difficult. We understand that. But I think people are ready. Every big business that comes to see me says the same thing. We got to have a health insurance system that we can afford and that has good quality to take care of people. And we've got to do it before we start losing more and more jobs and more people become uninsured. So we're going to work together, and I think we're going to have a debate in this election leading up to the 2009 inauguration, where America is going to say, we can do this. Let's set the goal and then let's achieve it. And when I'm president, we will have health insurance for every single American. That is a pledge. Now, we got to set some other goals. We need to set a goal, and we made a little progress on this late Thursday night, because we do have to be smarter about how we're going to use our energy, where we're going to get it from. We've got to end our dependence on foreign oil. We all know that. And we also now know that states like Arkansas are going to be able to generate homegrown fuel. So many of the hard-working farmers in this state are going to be part of giving us that new energy future. And I sure would rather be thinking about the farmers in Arkansas when I fill up the tank than some folks across the ocean who don't even care about America and take our money and use it against us. But it's not just about a new energy policy that we're going to set in Washington. We all have to think about this. What are we each going to do about global warming? What are we each going to do about energy efficiency? And some of you knew my late father, and my late father was a child of depression. And he went around turning off every light in every room before he left. In fact, I used to make fun of him for it. Just say, oh, come on, Dad. He'd say, well, money doesn't grow on trees. And you're just wasting money if you don't turn those lights on. Well, I find myself now doing it. For a different reason, Dad. I'm doing it now because we have to do it. We've got to set an example for ourselves and our children about how we're going to get control over our energy future. And it's the only way we can deal with global warming, which is real, despite what the President and the Vice President